Hello YouTube, Matthew Craig here with another game of Ninth Age, 3,000 points, Empire versus Orcs and Goblins, and this is part of our campaign that we put together, and the Orcs and Goblins finally get to attack something. And still haven't been able to do a video to show you guys the map, but I'll get to it. But anyway, let's run through the armies real quick now that we're done with setup. My left to right. 7 spiders, spider raiders, throwing weapons, no command, no nothing else. Skewer, 6 trolls, regular trolls, 20 goblins, full command, spear shield, and they got 2 mad gits. Haven't put those out. And then 3 grotlings, 20 more gobos with bow, no command, no gits, a git launcher in the back, 20 more, spear shield, full command, 2 mad gits, a scrap wagon, and finally giant spider. And that brings us to the Empire, starting all the way out here.
Imperial Rangers, they have a champion, they're in skirmish order.
Yep, and they're scouts.
And they're scouts.
So they decided to scout way up because I can't see them through the building.
2 units of riders, up and down, heavy armor, brace of pistols. In front, light infantry with a handgun. In back, electoral cavalry with the commander, and they have lance, shield, they have a household standard. Next is the heavy infantry, and that has full command, spear and shield. Next front rank is another light infantry group with handgun. Back of them is another unit of electoral infantry holding the wizard as well, and they have lance and shield and a stalker standard. And then up on the hill is the Imperial Guard. They have great weapon and a rending banner.
Nice. And then where's your mage?
Mage is in here.
Alright, and that's an adept of pyromancy with fireball and
Exemplar's flame.
And pyroclastic flow.
Pyroclastic flow.
Alright. So that's our setup. And we'll give you one last look at the map. We'll talk about terrain. There's a field under the spider, another field, a building way out there. Out there is a ruin, a woods in front of the riders, and finally a hill. And then we'll get back to you. Orcs and Goblins, turn one, because I threw everything out basically. So they'll be starting the game. Alright, we're back with the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 1. No charges. The spiders changed formation and moved out there. And we basically just sort of slowly moved forward, except the grotlings and the scrap wagon, who shot forward pretty far. No magic in my army, just like the previous game. Check that out if you're wondering how that turned out. Shooting, I would put 2 guys down with throwing weapons over there. The skewer, God, that's a tough name to remember. The skewer missed, but the git launcher over here actually did hit the Imperial Guard up on the hill and drop 4 guys. But that's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 1. We'll be back with the end of Empire turn 1. And we're back with the end of Empire turn 1. No charges, so just movement. The what are these guys called? Huntsmen?
Imperial Rangers.
The Rangers, okay. So the Rangers turn to face. Out there, the 2 units of riders are starting to come around the ruin. The Knights, electoral cavalry, chose to sidestep. The general gave out ready aim fire to the twin handgun units. The other unit of electoral cav sidestepped over there, and the Imperial Guard started to come down off the hill. Magic, the mage in the unit over there 5 dice to fireball because it was the only spell he had, and plucked off a base of the grotlings, but in the process miscast and put a wound on himself. It was an implosion too, so he had 4 dice wounding himself on 4s, and he only wounded once, so that's great. And then in shooting, 3 wounds on the scrap wagon from handgunners, and more wounds on the grotlings, for a total of 5 wounds from shooting and magic. And then a spider over here. So that's the end of turn 1, and we'll be back with turn 2. Alright, we're back with the end of the top of 2. No charges, so normal moves. The spiders passed a march test and turned the flank of the frontiersmen. The bulk of the army just went ahead and marched forward, leaving behind, and there's the Empire army, leaving behind the artillery crew. The pump wagon tried to rush the Imperial Guard, came up short, so the spider is stacked up behind it for the countercharge. No magic like before. Shooting, the pump wagon killed an Imperial Guardsman. The Git launcher killed another. The skewer missed again. And then the spiders put some wounds on the frontiersmen, and they failed their leadership check and started to run. So that's the end of turn 2 for Orcs and Goblins. Alright, we're back with the bottom of turn 2 over for the Empire. And the only charge was the Imperial Guard coming down off the hill into the pump wagon. The rest of the movement was mainly just this flank where the riders came around, and so did the Electoral Cavalry. In magic, Fireball, Pyroclastic Flow, and then the Blaze spell all over the Grotlings. There's only 1 base left right in the middle there. And then in shooting, he shot 2 spiders off, but they didn't panic, and tried to shoot at the trolls, but couldn't cause a wound with the riders. And then the handgunners shot down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goblins out of the bow unit in the center. But that's that. I'm not sure what my plan here is, because he's getting the riders right up in my face, but I don't think I can charge them, because they'll just run away. And we'll be back with turn 3. Alright, and we're back with the end of top of 3 Orcs and Goblins. Still no charges, because I wasn't going to take the bait on the riders. So normal moves. The spiders moved out to the flank again. Trolls in this part of the line just sort of sat still. I forgot to move the Grotling, which is terrible, now that I just now realized that. This spear unit moved forward, and the spiders shifted over. No magic, so in shooting, the spiders could do no wounds. The skewer could do no wounds. The Git launcher hit the riders next to the ruins and took out 2, but they refused to panic. And then the bows from the spider couldn't bring down any Imperial Guard, and then the Mad Gits came out, and I rolled short and just couldn't get to them.
Matt, you have 2 hits here.
Oh yes, the bow unit. Night Goblin bow unit, way out there, his handgunners put 2 wounds on. I needed 3 for him to take a panic test. So it's just not going my way right now. And there's a look at the big board, and we'll be back at the bottom of 3.
This is an old movie, judging by how it
Oh
looks.
yeah, it is. Classic.
Alright, and we're back with the bottom of turn 3. And the only charge was the Imperial Guard, who charged the goblins that were within 8 inches, which started a whole sequence of events I did not plan for. I chose to flee, just for the heck of it. But when I chose to flee, I passed through the bow unit, who I thought would stand, and instead they fled, who in turn passed through my general's unit, who I thought would stand, and they fled. So the entire section of goblins has fled. His knights moved up. The main body moved up with the gunners, and as you can see, everything else moved up like this. Magic. Lots of fire on the spider. Managed to put a wound down. A little bit of fire on the grotlings. And then in shooting, he got rid of the spider raiders over there. tried to put some wounds on the trolls, but failed to there. Handgunners put a wound on them. Handgunners also got rid of the Mad Git that was right up in there. Oh, and also during the charge, the Imperial Guard ran over the other Mad Git. So both Mad Gits from my spear unit are gone. And with that, that is the end of turn 3. Alright, top of 4 is over. And the only charge was the Spider. So the Spider charges the Imperial Guard who chose to flee. It was able to redirect into the Electoral Cav who also chose to flee. So the Spider ends up with a failed charge sitting right there. Normal moves. The trolls were stupid because of the leadership issues, but all 3 units of Night Goblins rallied. And then this guy had the Crown of the Cavern King, so he was allowed to operate the unit normally, and so they moved forward to push Fanatics out. In the shooting phase, Skewer missed again, and I had a wonderful flank shot on those riders down there. Git Launcher fired, hit some of the Electoral Knights over there in the sunspot, and then the Mad Gits came out and finished off the 3 riders that were shooting up the trolls. Other than that, we're just hanging on here. So we'll be back at the bottom of Empire 4. Alright, we're back with the end of Empire Turn 4. The Electoral Cavalry charged into the Grotlings, and then normal moves. All the Imperial units on the flank who ran from the Spider rallied. The main line didn't move, and his riders changed formation and moved all the way up here. So, no magic. Shooting, they put 2 wounds on the Skewer, and the Handgunners put another wound on the Spider. Oh, and also, yeah, that's it. And then in combat, his Electoral Cav ran over the Grots and then overran into the Trolls. So I had better figure out how to back those guys up, or they're going to get stomped real quick.
Can you get out of that?
No, but I can probably try and send another unit in.
Yeah.
Like, this unit may charge in to try and help the trolls fight. We'll see. Hard to say. But that has been the end of 4. Top of 5 down. Charges. I threw the Night Goblins in to help the trolls, and the Spider made a mega charge into the Handgunners. Shooting. Couldn't do anything to the riders, so they're probably coming after the bolt thrower. Even the bow guys couldn't do anything. No other shooting or magic. In combat, the Spider obviously ate the Handgunners and then overran just out of arc of this heavy infantry, but it will get charged by the Electoral Cav over there. And then over here, I won combat. He put a wound on the trolls, killed 2 goblins, including the champion. But I didn't hurt anyone, so I only won combat by 1, and he sticks, which was a little bit unfortunate for me. And we'll be back with the bottom of 5 after Empire's charges and whatnot. And we're back with the bottom of 5. All kinds of stuff happened. So, countercharge into the Spider over there. A little bit of movement going on with the Imperial Guard. No shooting because the riders went ahead and charged right into the Skewer. In combat, they killed it no problem. They decided to overrun, but they only overran 2 inches. So unfortunately, they're still in a bit of jeopardy. Over here, the Handgunners shot 4 out of that unit. And then in combat, the second combat after the Skewer went down was the Spider. He put a bunch more wounds on the Spider. I killed a single knight. The Spider lost, but it's going to stick on Stubborn 6. Actually, Stubborn 9 because of my General's Crown of the Cavern King. And then over here, I won combat, but he stuck on Leadership 7 because he had the Steady Men bonus going on. So we'll be back with 6, the last turn of the game. Alright, we're back with the top of 5 over, and despite some general movements and stuff, the best I could say to you is that this combat stuck. The general stuck. I beat him. It was a -1. He was leadership 8 like a goblin, and he stuck. Can't believe it. Over there, the spider munched one knight and stuck, even though he lost combat. And over here, during shooting, we only dropped a rider, unbelievably, with the bow fire, so they didn't panic. And the Git launcher fired at the Imperial Guard and couldn't make them panic. They're down to 2 guys. So, we are down the last phase of the game, bottom of 6, Empire, and we'll see what they do. So we're at the bottom of turn 6, Empire, and everything came apart relatively for the Orcs and Goblins. The spider held on, no more wounds, but couldn't get the knights to break. Over here, however, the Goblins and the Trolls broke. The general ran down the entire unit of Trolls, and the spear unit ran down the rest of the Goblins and overran to there. The riders just turned to fire and shot 1 goblin off. And the handgunners out there managed to shoot 2 guys or 3 guys out of that unit. But that brings us to the end of the game. The final score was a difference of about 2,000.
No.
He's doing the math. It's going to be an Empire.
172 points.
How much?
172.
So that was narrow. So the difference is 172 points in favor of the Empire, and that's what the he killed my BSB bonus and all that jazz. So Empire victory. The Orcs and Goblins do not take a piece of Empire territory today. Not bad. And this has been the 9th Age, and thanks for watching.